Have you ever wondered what to do when the year is almost over and you feel completely stuck because you didn't accomplish most of what you set out to do in January? Or maybe you just fell off a few months ago and now feel like time has run out and you might as well just give up and wait until 2024. I'm here to tell you that it's never too late, and together we can make the last 2 months of 2023 the best ones yet. We can end our year off strong and start 2024 on the best possible note. Good morning, guys! If you've gotten to this point of the year and don't feel satisfied, maybe this year didn't live up to your expectations, or maybe you yourself didn't perform as well as you hoped. Listen to me when I tell you, it's okay. What is in the past has already happened, and regardless of how good or bad this year has been, the only thing we can do is pick ourselves back up and correct course, back towards the goals and ambitions that we set for ourselves in January. Even though it can be tempting to let go until the new year, the most important thing is that we do not repeat this cycle of procrastination and end the year off strong. I'm actually low-key running late because we're about to play volleyball in 15 minutes, so I gotta hurry up. One of the best ways we can start this process is to intentionally take note of every source of gratitude, pride, and happiness in our lives. In times of stressful, it can be easy for all of the good things in life to pass us by and for us to forget about all of the reasons we have to be appreciative and optimistic. And when we stay fixated on what we feel is going wrong, we don't give ourselves the space to be focused and be excited about the opportunities that are ahead of us, which keeps us stuck in the same cycle of negativity. So take some time to reflect on all of the reasons you have to be grateful for your life. Remind yourself of everything that makes you smile, everything that you've done well, and all of the goals you've reached, even if it wasn't everything you had hoped for at the start of this year. Progress is progress no matter how much we've made, and doing this regularly can help us escape a cycle of dissatisfaction where we adjust and raise our ambitions so often that we never actually feel content or satisfied in the moment. But there are almost always reasons to feel gratitude, and deliberately focusing on these aspects of our lives more often can help us find it, which in turn can liberate our attention to focus on our goals and the best ways of achieving them. Hi guys, we're back from volleyball. It's 3 hours later and I'm gonna take a shower, then do my bullet journal for November, and then afterwards we're gonna clean the entire apartment, do all the laundry, and prepare for the next week.
We should stretch.
Remember that sources of pride and gratitude don't necessarily have to look flashy or impressive either. You can recognize and be proud of something as simple as the fact that you made more of an effort to take care of yourself and reach your goals than you did last year, regardless of the end result. Just remind yourself that you're doing your best and should be proud of that no matter what else has happened in your life. And by reminding yourself of all of the progress you've already made, you can finish what's left of this year to the best of your abilities and set yourself up with a head start in the new year so that you can hit the ground running from day one.
You're the thunder, I can't make you go away, can't get you out of my brain tonight.
So I feel like fitness has always been a huge part of my life, especially recently. And in the past, I was always told that, oh, health equals weight and things like that. But we all know that it's really not that simple. Which is why instead of just using a regular scale to track my progress, I've been using the dara scale by fittrack. So the dara scale is pretty cool because it uses bioelectrical impedance analysis in order to measure your body composition. So you can see things like your body fat percentage as well as your muscle mass with an accuracy of within 3% of a DEXA scan for bone density measurements, which is the most accurate smart scale in its class. I feel like instead of focusing so much on my weight, I can focus on other things like building my muscle mass and becoming stronger, and that's why the dara scale allows me to kind of motivate myself in these different types of aspects to achieve my personal goals. I find it interesting how it can also measure your metabolic age as well as plus your protein rate, and it has explanations about all of them within the app itself. It also emphasizes the long game, and we all know that huge big changes to our lifestyles are not going to be able to last a long time, and it's those really small little changes that we provide for our lifestyles that make us really change in the long run. And the small steps that can be sustained is what the dara scale and fittrack in general represents. For a limited time, the dara scale is 30% off on the website, and when you click the link down below, you will get an additional 20% off. So that's a total savings of 50%. Thank you to fittrack for partnering with me on this portion of today's video.
Some days I can't get out of my bed.
It can be helpful at this point in the year to think about the mindset we have now and how it's affecting both our productivity and our well-being. Something in particular to look out for is our attitude towards time and how we spend it. Because if we gotten to this point in the year without accomplishing what we set out to at the start, it's easy to tell ourselves that we've basically lost the year entirely. But there's no reason to feel that way. And when we rationalize procrastination, what we're really doing is allowing our disappointment in ourselves to get in the way of our goals. Tomorrow you woke up and found $900 of your $1,000 in savings had been stolen, no one would blame you for feeling upset, but it would be obviously a little more than silly to throw the remaining $100 away. That's exactly the approach we should be taking to the rest of our year. Know that every day, like every dollar, is an opportunity to reinvent yourself, and if we set our mind to it and stay as consistent as we can possibly be, there are aspects of ourselves that we could completely reinvent in 60 days, no matter how much time we've wasted until this point. In 2 months, you could train for your first half marathon. You could learn an entirely new skill or make any number of new friends and relationships that might change your life. But none of this is possible if you dwell on the past and allow disappointment and regret to color your future. Remember that the only way up is forward. It only makes sense to focus on the past if there's something it can teach you about the future and help you make the most of the opportunities that are in front of you. Because no matter how many days have gone by, those opportunities are all that matter now. Think about the goals you set in 2023. Look for which goals you succeeded in attaining and which ones you didn't. And then, most importantly, take the time to ask yourself why. Why did you have the motivation to work towards some goals and not others? There can be all kinds of reasons why we fail to achieve our objectives, and having a better understanding of them and ourselves is essential in setting better and more achievable ones in the future. That's what we're going to use the rest of 2023 to do, and it starts with answering these questions. For example, were some of your goals better aligned with your values and the things that you truly want out of life? Sometimes we think that we're being lazy and undisciplined when the problem is we're pursuing the wrong things. We're working on projects that aren't really meaningful to us and don't actually contribute to the future we want to build. Recognizing this is important because otherwise we end up believing that we're not skilled or hardworking enough to achieve our goals when we're really just aiming at the wrong target to begin with. And sometimes we just aim too high, put too much on our plate, and expect more of ourselves than we're capable of delivering, and that's okay. If you recognize that you set the right kind of goals but just had the wrong approach or were a bit too ambitious, take advantage of the last 2 months to make some adjustments and start taking small steps towards the objectives that you want to attain. If you tried and failed to journal every day, work out 5 times a week, drink 2 liters of water, never wake up later than 7 a.m., don't give up on those goals entirely. Pick 1 or 2 of your favorite activities and just give yourself the goal of being consistent with them 3 to 4 times a week for the rest of the year. As long as you aim high enough to feel proud of your achievement, but not so high that you don't succeed in being consistent at all, you'll be setting yourself up perfectly with the rest of 2023 to make 2024 your best year yet. And whatever you decide to pursue, start tomorrow. No matter how badly you feel about what's going on or what's happened this year, just convince yourself to take that first step in the right direction, because that's what leads to all of the others.
They are familiar when I'm with you. And even in the coldest nights, if we're listening, I'll pick it.
Now that we have our goals, the next step is remembering that we actually have to execute on them. And for that, we need a plan because this is usually the least comfortable and most difficult part. If we want to make the rest of the year count, we have to be deliberate and have intentions about how we expect to make that happen. Now, don't focus on your long-term ambitions. Just take the next 2 months and think, how can I make the most of this time so that by the start of next year, I'm in the best position to pursue exactly what I want to achieve. You don't have to make this very complicated because there's always time to reevaluate. For now, focus on one concrete, realistic, actionable plan, something that will be effective right away in getting you out of bed and onto work. Start by setting a clear target, something that is achievable, realistic, and that would make you happy to start your year by accomplishing. Then try to clearly specify what you need to do to make that happen. Break down your main goals into sub-goals and make sure you have everything you need to achieve them. Something simple, for example, getting fit, find a sport, activity, or gym, find a location where you can practice it, identify what knowledge you need that you currently lack, for example, maybe a routine or proper form or more research on the sport or what you want to do, and think about how you're going to hold yourself accountable for the next 2 months. Then set a schedule with deadlines. Don't just have a goal in your head. Decide how and when you're going to pursue it, otherwise it's too easy to procrastinate your way out of doing so at all, and before you know it, you'll have let 2023 go by completely. Don't plan for perfection. Expect that sometimes you won't be as consistent as you hope to be, and make sure that your plan is flexible enough to accommodate that. Just focus on making forward-looking progress that you can build on next year, not on getting everything right now the very first time. The most important thing for you to focus on now is this. Whatever disappointment or frustration you feel about the last 10 months or 2 years or decade, try your best to leave them behind by the start of the next year. Fresh starts and New Year's resolutions can be great, but they don't do you any good if you haven't put yourself in a position to really take advantage of them. But don't worry, I'll have plenty of videos coming out on that soon for how to make 2024 your best year yet. So don't forget to subscribe and continue your journey towards becoming your best self.
Always think about you till first